Hi, thanks for watching. And this is going to be the shooting test of my Echo1 AK CPM with the standard 8.4 volt battery in it and 0.2 gram BBs, 0.25 gram BBs, and a 9.6 volt battery, both in semi and full auto. First I'll be doing the twos with semi and full at 25 feet and 50 feet. The semi-auto, I'm going to be shooting at the center of the target. In full auto, I'm going to be shooting at the bottom right black square. And this is going to be free-handed, since that's quite likely what's going to happen in an actual game. Alright, so let's begin. Semi-auto at 25 feet with .2s. Let's do full auto at 25 feet with .2s. There we go. So 50 feet, .2s, semi-auto. Keep in mind it is kind of windy outside. The leaves are rustling, and this is to simulate a realistic game. So full auto, .2s, 50 feet. I did have some misfires. I guess I needed to wind. So let's set the gun down and go check it out. So at 25 feet, we did hit the bullseye a few times. Semi-auto or full auto tore that thing up. It was in a fairly decent spread. Now, there were some all around, but I blame that on my shooting. I really doubt that most of your CQB battles are going to be at 25 feet, though. At 50, again, subject to the wind, the hop-up settings, and my own shooting, 0 bullseyes, and it was kind of all over the place. Full auto. That I blame on my my aiming, but still slightly larger, but decent grouping. Now let's. I don't have a whole super lot of targets. I guess that was my own fault. Let me see if I have enough to set them up for a difference in the other battery. Okay, so these I did with a pistol review, and they're not very shot up, so I'm going to use those. Drop those in. There we go. Still see it. I'm going to swap the battery out. And I know what you're thinking probably, and that's battery only really affects the rate of fire, but it does make semi-auto more responsive, and I'm here to see if that responsiveness has any effect on the way that the BBs are actually shot. Wind up. And the wind, I'm going to give it a second to die down. Okay, so 25 feet semi-auto. .2s. Full auto. Okay, wind up. 50 feet semi-auto. Full auto. Let's remove the magazine. I'll go ahead and switch out to the 2.5s. Make sure they're wound. and take the next set of targets with me. So generally the same spread, just a lot more BBs. It's pretty decent on the semi-auto. I think it's not really changed a lot. Let's throw in another target, clean one, and sure it's not upside down. Okay, so now that I only have one clean target left, the full auto and semi-auto 0.25 with the 9-volt is going to be at long range only. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and leave the 9-volt in. That way we can go ahead and see if it's going to make a difference. So we're in semi-auto. There is some wind, so let it die down. Okay, here we go. Now full auto. Okay. Now, swap the battery out. So I don't forget. This is just kind of a side note, but I know I'm not pausing on the shot spread whenever I come up to these things. But if you just scroll back in the video and pause on that, you can see with the most detail of what they look like. So it's kind of all over the place with the full auto, decent. I was a little more accurate, I don't know, that could have been just me, or that being the 2.5s. But personally, I'm going to say that the 2.5s, though maybe more accurate, were really difficult to see. And if you've watched the review on my AK, the sights are notoriously inaccurate, so you have to really shoot by watching where the BBs are flying. But I have a sight rail in the mail, and should be going to optics. It's red dot optic. Okay, so I did, yep, switch my battery. And semi-auto, 25 feet, 0.25s. And wind. This is windy. What's going on? There. Water. Wait for the wind to die down. Now I can tell you right now, that was a lot better grouping on the semi-auto at that range. So we're gonna have to give it a second. And on full auto and semi, and I'm gonna have to take a few shots because I can't see where they're coming from to really get it on target. Full auto. Wind that up a bit. Okay. So essentially the shooting portion of this test is over. Let's go see how we've done, or how I've done, or whatever. So that hit the bullseye a pretty fair amount. Semi-auto or full auto, pretty good. upside down. So is that. And that. So, long range, short range, .12s. And .12. So you can definitely tell that there's a difference here. The grouping was much better, even at short range, with .25s, not 12s. What was I saying earlier? So 2.5s, way better at close range. And I don't know, that's pretty close at long range. I mean, this one here, that was just crappy all over. But that was decent, and these two were decent too. So I'm going to say that it's about even at long range. If you're playing in a building or something, I would go with the 2.5s. If you're going outdoors, I would go with probably the .2s, because you can actually see where they're hitting, and that's a big deal. All right. So I think we've pretty much concluded. That's an alright gun. I'd probably go with a different barrel though, or I don't know, a different gun. No, seriously, it's pretty good. It's good for an airsoft gun, so we're going to wrap it up at that. Have a great afternoon, and thanks for watching.